All right, good morning, everybody. Today is September 29th. I cannot believe um, September is pretty much almost over, and we are heading into fall. So, with that, I am just going to adjust my settings a little bit and get my other computer going. I do this with two computers, one so I can see you on Facebook Live, and the other so that I can Zoom with you. So, certainly, we are having a hot Monday. I heard it's going to be up in the 90s today. So, again, please make sure that you are staying hydrated. And if you need a place to cool off, there are cooling places still around the area. So, today's Coffee with Kiffy features just my standard 20-ounce mug. It's going to be a busy day today, but certainly. I hope everybody else has a great day as well. And I got this mug a long time ago, so it's certainly a good sturdy mug for the week. So first I want to address that Robert Redford passed away, and I just said it to somebody, and they said, "Who was that?" So it's generational. Robert Redford was a an amazing actor, and I enjoyed him in my generation, not everybody's generation, but really enjoyed his acting in various movies. He was 89 years old, and he passed away on September 16th. No specific cause of death was provided. He died in his sleep in his home in Utah. Certainly at 89 years old, that's a life well lived. So certainly he did a lot for the community, and he certainly I will miss him. People don't know who he is, but I will certainly miss him. And so uh, thoughts to his family and to everybody who enjoyed all his work. So it's Monday, and it's very concerning over the weekend, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. With what's going on with the militarization of federal immigration agents. Um, they were all over downtown Chicago. Dozens of armed and masked federal officers were engaging in intimidation, and it was not a coordinated crime fighting effort. So, when we talk about crime, and we talk about crime on the state level, when we talked about when I was a local alderman, it needs to be coordinated, and the police have a lot of tools in their toolbox for crime. And when we're looking at the root causes of crime, and this is through documented evidence, the root causes of crime, a lot of crime stems from abuse, either physical abuse when individuals were children, or sexual abuse, and lack of education opportunities. And there's a lot of root causes of crime. People do not want to be criminals, and they find themselves into situations, and they become criminals, and they do terrible things. And then when you drill down and you look at the root cause of crime, it could be drug addiction, and they're addicted due to self-medicating due to trauma. There are some really really important factors that we've been addressing in the state level. We've been addressing, and I know on city levels have been addressed. Mental health is a huge issue. And so crime is actually down. I mentioned this last time. It's down tremendously, and it has nothing to do with masked and armed individuals walking around the street. It has everything to do with programs, youth programs, job skills programs, that have, and working with our local law enforcement individuals to do a great job for our communities and for our neighborhoods. So crime is a big issue. But if crime was the reason why these dozens of armed and masked federal officers came to Chicago, they were not in an area that is high on crime. They were walking down Michigan Avenue. Crime is relatively low in Michigan Avenue. We have a couple retail thefts, but it's relatively low. So they're not even coordinating with the areas of Chicago that have seen spikes in crime. So this type of militarization in our cities is unprecedented. When I've gone to other countries, you see this, and I remember first seeing this when I went on a missionary trip back in the early 2000s to Honduras, and I was in a town called San Pedro Sula, and you'd see armed militia at the airport and armed militia at the corners, and just military people all over the place. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm glad I'm in America because this is not right. And here we are today, 30 years later, under a different type of presidency, wanting this to be our country too. And it's not right. It's not making anybody safer. It's really undermining our constitutional rights. The Sun Times had an article today with regards to what was happening in downtown Chicago, and why they were at the tourist-friendly part of downtown, not concentrating, on maybe Chicago South and West Side. And it was relatively quiet on a Sunday afternoon. They were going around chasing individuals, and in fact, it was reported that they were chasing a bicyclist as well. We had federal boats in the Chicago River, and they were asking individuals for their papers. And that's just not the kind of country we're in, where citizens have to walk around and be fear of being targeted by the way they look and have to carry their citizens' paper. There was a interview on WBEZ where Gregory Bovino, he's the commander of the border force, acknowledged that his agents factor in what people look like when they arrest them, and how they look and how they compared to a white individual is what they are using as a guide for their actions. And that's certainly not right. WGN9 has the video of them walking around our streets, and they're seriously not here to help coordinate with our local law enforcement. And it's very concerning. It is very concerning. And everybody who are working, everybody who's videotaping and putting it out online to show individuals how wrong this is the best manner in which you can be active. Peaceful protests, of course. I read an article that they're trying to provoke a reason to be there. So I say, don't give them a reason to be there. And just keep being diligent and speaking out. This is not what many individuals, many veterans support. This is not within our constitutional rights or our laws to identify people just about the way they look and to arrest them just because. That's not our country. That's not our foundation. That's not our freedoms. We're taking freedoms away from people. So we got to keep speaking out, and we have to keep really keep being diligent. It's getting very, very concerning, and concerning the reports coming out of other states. Portland, for example, there's no reason why there are militia in Portland uh, using the military as in a way that they're not meant to be used. And my son is still in the Navy, so um, and being a veteran, this is not how Americans, this is not how we treat individuals. We might disagree with folks. We might disagree about um, many things, but divisive rhetoric and hating people and individuals cannot be free to drop off their kids at school, even if they are here legally. They are getting picked up. So it's getting out of control, and I hope that those in Congress start realizing just how out of control things are getting, and rein it in. So it's just been very, very concerning, and certainly we certainly need to do better, hold people more accountable. So certainly that's been weighing on my mind all weekend, and the videos that are out there of people just getting picked up and pushed around by these ICE agents. They're not trained. They're not trained. Our local law enforcements are trained, and they are professional in dealing with the public. And these individuals just are not trained at all. And it's again, it bears repeating, very concerning on many levels. So certainly, I keep praying every day, and hope for some common sense and respectable people to start stepping up in our congressional and on our national level to start putting an end to this. Um, Certainly something else on our docket. So in 2022, after the Highland Park mass shooting, Illinois enacted a assault weapons ban. It was similar to the 1992 a national assault weapons ban. Believe it or not, our federal government had an assault weapons ban. It only had a short window. It was not renewed. And so Illinois passed a similar assault weapons ban. And last week, the United States Justice Department entered into the legal proceedings of the assault weapons ban. So it was signed into law. It's being argued before the U.S. Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. What Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights Harmet Dillon defended the actions as a federal imperative to protect Second Amendment from being treated as a second-class right. She dismissed the argument that the banned firearms are primarily suited for military use rather than personal use, but they are not really party to the case. So the judge in this case is Frank Easterbrook, and he was actually appointed by Republican President Reagan. And certainly he asked a lot of questions with regards to why the U.S. Justice Department is inserting themselves into this court case. So it's been interesting. It's on my docket. That's what I've been looking at. So certainly things that are coming up. If the appellate court favors Illinois regulations, the gun right groups are expected to push for a case before the U.S. Supreme Court. So that's the process that we have in place. That's the process that's being followed. As with any legislation that gets passed, we are a country that has our checks and balances, the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. And that is the process that should be followed, and that is really in some cases, that's where we're at today. So certainly that's the path that it still takes. We still have those checks and balances on the state level with regards to state legislation. So certainly that's where we're at with that. A lot of big issues on our desks. So, and then, looking at going back to ICE and Broadview, and the state police are looking at what we need to do to help those residents there with regards to requests to the state police from the Broadview mayor. So, certainly we have that. On a lighter in Chicago, there is an alderman that is proposing an ordinance to lift Chicago's canine ban to let dogs go into restaurants with their owners. Chicago restaurants are prohibited from serving patrons accompanied by dogs. So this has been around for a while. I believe I've talked about this in the past. So the ordinance has been filed to change that as well. And then if you are flying in and out of O'Hare Airport will have 17 European passenger airlines for the first time in 7 years. So if you are traveling to Europe, I know a couple of people that have been traveling to Europe quite frequently, you might be able to find more options out of O'Hare Airport. So certainly that's an option as well. Lately, there for a couple things, we're going into October, which means we're going into veto session, and a lot of things that are popping up on our docket for veto session. Transit is, of course, one of them. Transit funding, and it's concerning that we're looking at the possibility of cuts to paratransit, which could really certainly can really cause an impact on those that rely on paratransit, that they are looking to cut down the amount of rides. So transit, I know we talk about transit in aggregate and transit of individuals. In fact, I just had rode the train into Chicago the other day, and it was a wonderful ride. So it's very, very important. So we need to find a solution. That's on the docket for veto session. What's also on the docket for veto session is the energy bill. We are looking at energy legislation with regard to looking at rates, looking at everything in the energy environment. So certainly that's a big issue as well. And then we are looking at what we are looking at as well is Delta 8 and intoxicating high. So that is an issue that might be on the docket for the General Assembly also. So there's a lot that could be on the docket. We are only meeting for 6 days. Anything that passes in veto session needs to have a 71 vote threshold so that the legislation is effective immediately. Again, data centers are on the docket. Talking about data centers in Aurora, the city of Aurora, and their moratorium on data centers, really to look at some of the environmental impacts, primarily water usage. So that's a huge issue as well. So that's on the docket for veto session. So we're working with regards to that, and a lot of things going on within veto session. Again, all the bills have been passed. All the bills have been signed except for a few vetoes. I'm not sure if the vetoes are going to be overrun in veto session. coming down in a couple weeks now. So certainly that's on the agenda. So with regards to that, there isn't really much on the docket to discuss. One of the things I do want to bring up, individuals most likely are unaware of all the work that Al Lorenz has done. Unfortunately, he passed away at 73. He was a statewide education union president, and I had the ability to meet him several times, and he was just a wonderful person. He grew up on Chicago's Southwest Side. He attended Chicago public schools and spent more than 30 years as a high school math teacher and head girls track and cross country coach at Thornbridge High School in Dalton, Illinois. And he had been an IEA member, Illinois Education Association member, since 1985. He taught fourth grade phonics and middle school reading in Champaign and was a math and science teacher in Kankakee and Chicago. So he was kind and passionate about public education and unions, and he always put students first. So just need to keep all his friends and his wife, Wanda, 3 children, 2 stepchildren, in your thoughts as they go through this difficult time without him. This week is a little bit short. We not much going on. One of the things I failed to mention that's going to go on that we're going to be talking about in veto session is predatory lending. So we passed a law with regards to predatory lending, and what has happened, and so on the state passed a law to cap predatory lending rates. And what we have found out is that industries are finding a way around this by putting language in that they can circumvent Illinois law by using rates allowed in other laws, such as Utah. And so what we found is that the state passed the rate at 36%. So again, that was the Predatory Loan Prevention Act, caps interest rates on consumer loans at 36%. What they found was an out-of-state company charged an Illinois residents 483% APR. It's Silver Financial. It's a company doing business in Utah. Utah is considered the Wild West of the world of consumer lending. So predatory lenders set up shop there to enjoy their lack of an interest cap. And so then an individual who made to an individual named Joseph, who is an Illinois resident, with an APR of 483% in April of 2022. So under our laws, the Predatory Loan Prevention Act, the APR is illegal and the loan should be null and void on its face value. However, they can charge whatever they want because Silver Financial is using 2 loopholes. One, language in the document that says that you cannot sue, you have to go to forced arbitration. And number 2, it's called the choice of law. So forced arbitration is in fine print buried in the contract, forcing you, the consumer, to take any disputes to arbitration instead of court. Choice of law means the company gets to choose which state's laws apply. And in this case, the company chose Utah. So in 2023, June of 2023, the arbitrator found that our law and the public policy of Illinois were inapplicable because they chose Utah. So this is really something that I wanted to bring to your attention. If you are looking at going into a loan that's not through a bank, or if it's through some sort of other type of lender, you could forfeit your rights when you log onto your computer and you shop on the internet and you see something that's a loan and you think that you're doing okay. but you're going to be scammed or there's going to be loopholes. So I urge you not to shop online on the internet for any kind of loan products. It's not really just about consumer lending, but individuals are routinely forced to sign arbitration clauses when deciding to receive goods or services from a particular company or a cell phone service or an internet or even credit cards in addition to loans. So these are the type of industries that use forced arbitration clauses. They're in the fine print of all the documentation that you click through and accept. So it's the new normal, and we're all at risk of being subject to an arbitrator who will enforce a choice of law clause drafted by the company who wants to stack the deck in their favor. And that's how it is. So Illinois doing these cases? Well, the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation issued a cease and desist order in May of 2025. Silver Financial had 10 days to request a hearing and refused to do so. So if Silver Financial is still offering loans to Illinois consumers, the Attorney General's office may have to go to court to seek an injunction to enforce the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulations order. So there are some recourse, but we can't help anybody who gets into these bad loans. So certainly make sure, buyer beware, but make sure you are working with a reputable institution, maybe a credit union or a bank, a reputable institution, not something that you see over the internet, not a solicitation over the internet. You're taking a risk, and if something can go wrong, certainly there's not much we can do because of these two loopholes that people can put in these contracts. The laws could be the laws of Utah, could be the laws of the Virgin Islands, the island of Man, or even a remote country that, and if you lose, you might have no remedy or remorse. So I certainly wanted to bring that to our attention. I know it's not a happy note, but certainly something that is talking about that we need to talk about to make sure that you're not scammed. We are doing all we can with the predatory loan laws that we have in the book today. But certainly we always have to be diligent with the details of these loans. So with that, we'll end on a happy note. We'll end on a happy note today, and talk about that. Today is what I found National Coffee Day. So we're talking about coffee on National Coffee Day. Certainly there are some deals on National Coffee Day. Check with your local stores. They may or may not be honoring these deals. So National Coffee Day 2025 looks on Monday, September 29th. There are certain issues that you can go to with regards to specials. So Dunkin' Donuts has a free medium hot or iced coffee when they purchase through the Dunkin' app. DoorDash is giving customers $6 off their Dunkin' delivery order of more than $20. So certainly that's Krispy Kreme and Joe Jonas team up for National Coffee Day freebies. Get a free hot or iced coffee and a donut on Joe. So of course, check your local establishment to make sure that they are participating Krispy Kreme shops as well. Starbucks free coffee deal for National Coffee Day. You'll get 100 bonus stars in the Starbucks app when you buy any brewed coffee of any size, hot or iced. And that's enough to get you your next cup of coffee free. Grubhub Plus members can get $7 off Starbucks delivery orders of $20 or more. And then also on today, Starbucks is expected to launch its line of protein lattes and protein cold foam. And there are other coffees, Circle K, the convenience store staying. You can either get a coupon or reward for Inner Circle Loyalty Program members for one free medium or hot iced coffee. And certainly, I'm trying to think of, there's a lot of coffee places on here. So Panera Bread is giving 50% off its new cream brulee latte for members of the Unlimited Sip Club, which includes coffee, tea, or fountain drinks. You pay once a month for that. So if you're a member of that, you can certainly. And then Scooter's Coffee. I think I've seen a couple Scooter's Coffee popping up around. Through today, you can get a free medium coffee if you order it in the Scooter's Coffee mobile. So certainly that's a good thing as well. So go check out your local coffee shop and see if they have something special for National Coffee Day 2025. So with that, I hope everybody has a good Monday. Be diligent, be aware, and certainly if something's not right, nowadays just videotape it and bring awareness to what's going on out there. But with that, last Monday in September. So take care, everybody, and have a great day.